As we draw closer and closer to its release this month, we're getting absolutely inundated with new footage from the upcoming Animaniacs revival series. And just in time for Halloween, Hulu has dropped a brand new 30-second spot filled with totally spooky visuals and tantalizing parodies of some fan-favorite horror flicks. And as always, I'm here to break it all down for you. I just wish these little rascals would slow the freak down and let me get some free time. But nah, I'm excited, so let's do it. Before we get into this, don't forget to hit that like button down below. It does wonders in getting my content out there. And if you haven't yet, hit that subscribe button and the bell icon to keep up to date with all my content like this going forward. I know you want it. I know you want it, so hit those buttons. Firstly, we kick off with a young girl watching what appears to be a classic episode of Animaniacs as her family watches on in horror. With a crazy glint in her eyes at the sight of the brand new Warner water tower, she creepily says, of course, this is a parody of the iconic scene from 1982 horror classic Poltergeist, where Carol Freeling is drawn to the television screen where evil spirits are attempting to contact her through television static. She then turns to deliver the iconic line, "They're here." Poltergeist was, of course, produced by Steven Spielberg under his Amblin Entertainment, the man and the company behind the Animaniacs. A long persisting Hollywood rumor also says that Spielberg actually ghost directed the film, with Tobe Hooper instead taking screen credit. Previously, we've seen the new Animaniacs riffing on Spielberg and Amblin's 1993 classic Jurassic Park, so it's incredibly exciting to imagine what other Spielberg films will see parodied throughout the new series. In both cases, the references are used incredibly well and effectively. The Jurassic Park one uses Animaniacs coming back to life instead of dinosaurs coming back to life, and the Poltergeist one ushers the Animaniacs back through a television screen instead of evil spirits, putting a great spin on that iconic line. What I love even more here is that the team behind the show have used the classic Poltergeist scene to riff on instead of the version from the 2015 remake, which most programs probably would do to keep the reference more relevant or recognizable. But one of the great things about Animaniacs, and I've said this in all my videos so far, is how daring it always was to parody classic titles that may be somewhat unfamiliar with modern audiences, instead of conforming with new and modern parodies. These are clever jokes instead of easy ones. That said, our next shot sees Dracula rising from a coffin as Wakko, Yakko, and Dot arrive beside him to do some trick-or-treating. We have a number of absolute deep cut references here. Firstly, let's take a look at Dracula. Long, slicked back hair and pencil thin mustache. This is not the traditional version of Dracula that we're used to seeing. When we imagine Dracula, we either think of Bela Lugosi's iconic portrayal in the 1931 Universal Dracula film, or the equally as recognizable portrayal by Christopher Lee in the late 1950s through 70s Hammer Horror Dracula series. Some may even personally recall Gary Oldman's stirring portrayal from Francis Ford Coppola's 1992 take on the tale. Instead, the version presented here bears more of a resemblance to the more obscure John Carradine version as seen in Universal's House of Frankenstein and House of Dracula films. Again, this is just an example of the Animaniacs simply refusing to take the easy way out of a gag. Another example comes in the form of the Warner's Halloween costumes. Had this been Family Guy or The Simpsons or Scooby-Doo or literally any other animated show, we'd probably see these guys dressed as some super modern characters like the Justice League or the Avengers. But instead, they're dressed as the Marx Brothers, famous for their comedy act in films released between the early 1900s and the late 1940s. Yakko is dressed as Groucho Marx, Dot as Chico Marx, and Wakko as Harpo Marx. An interesting divergent here is, while presenting Dot in Chico's recognizable Tyrolean hat, it bears even more of a striking resemblance to that of Slappy Squirrel, a classic Animaniacs character whose appearance in the new series has yet to be confirmed. But could this be our first sign that she could in fact be back? Again, I absolutely love the Marx Brothers gag because it's one younger audiences and even some older audiences probably won't get. Again, it is a deep cut for film fans, and it's stuff like this that gives Animaniacs so much charm. The gag ends by pulling out to reveal that this setup is actually on a soundstage as the Warners perform in some kind of horror film. A great self-referential gag, so prevalently seen in the classic series. I could be clutching at straws with this one, but do I see a young Steven Spielberg producing from the wings here? Later on, we get a reference to Universal's other 1931 horror film, Frankenstein, where we see the Brain building his own Frankenstein's monster, likely in effort to take over the world. He even delivers Dr. Henry Frankenstein's classic and often repeated line, "It's alive!" delivered originally by Colin Clive in 1931's Frankenstein. It's alive! There is plenty of other horror iconography here too. We have zombies in cages floating over a hell-like landscape. I'm not sure if this is a direct reference to something or just some interesting imagery. I'm sure someone will tell me down in the comments if I'm wrong. We also have a shot of pitchfork-wielding villagers, a throwback to the classic monster films of old, and more than likely, most particularly again, 1931's Frankenstein. It seems more than likely we will get an all-out Pinky and the Brain Frankenstein parody at some point this season. A pair of strange alien beings emerge at one point too, alongside Pinky, showing it's likely another episode will see the evil duo recruiting some monstrous aliens to help them do their bidding. A weird purple-haired Pennywise-looking clown also jumps out of a bathroom mirror to scare the absolute crap out of Dot, who once again appears in that slappy-esque hat. Interesting thing here is that they most definitely have gone for the modern, now more recognizable Pennywise from the recent It films, instead of the now more obscure Tim Curry version from the 1990 It miniseries. An example where they have taken the easy way out of a gag and just absolutely destroyed every damn point I've made in this video. That's it, I'm out of here. Nah, just jokes, I'm still here for one more. While I'm not sure that this particular shot is a reference to anything at all, I do want to point out something here. Does this dude have pubic hair? You're probably gonna tell me to get my head out of the gutter, as this could be some kind of loincloth covering, but why make it the exact same color as the rest of his hair? Now, why do I point this out? To be a weirdo, because my head is in the gutter? Well, maybe, but no. I think this gives us our first definitive answer to a question that has been plaguing us. Will the new Animaniacs be as risque and edgy as always, or will it hold back punches in this modern climate? Judging by this, the answers are yes, it will be, and no, it will not. In the less confusing terms, it looks like the Animaniacs are back, baby. Yeah, boy! If you'd like to keep up to date with all the biggest cartoon news, don't forget to like and subscribe to see more regular installments like this. And if you're keen on diving deep into the history of all your favourite animated characters, don't forget to check out my continuing Cartoon Evolution series linked at the end of the video. And at that, it's over to you. Are you getting more and more excited for the new Animaniacs, or are you being an absolute killjoy? What's your fave part of this new spot? Fire away down in the comments below and let me know your thoughts. Hey everyone, if you haven't yet, smash that big old subscribe button up on your screen to keep up to date with all my content, and hit that like button down below. Also, don't forget to check me out on social media, and please consider supporting me over on Patreon for as little as $1 a month for exclusive videos, early access content, and to get your name up on the screen. Thanks again for watching.